Jeremy Swayman's decision to hold out has been revealed in the new Amazon series with quotes from Jeremy Swayman himself discussing his issues with the Boston Bruins. We're going to be talking about all of this that came out here this morning in this video, as well as an absolutely insane trade report involving Jeremy Swayman that if we see, we are going to have some very big problems. Before we get into all of this, very, very big news here in this video. We know 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join me here on the channel as we cover everything Boston Bruins related. But as I mentioned, we have some brand new quotes from Jeremy Swayman in this new Amazon Prime documentary series, which I've not watched yet, but we're going to have a look at it now with some quotes coming from Jeremy Swayman in this. And let's get straight into it. Swayman's thoughts have been revealed, and by thoughts, quite some thoughts of that they are, to be honest with you. And I'll pull up the first one here from Face Off Inside the NHL, which is on Amazon Prime, I believe. But the arbitrators are on their side. The arbitrator on their side. Their job is to help the management side and to rip players. And hearing that you're not worthy of what you think you're worthy of, that was hard to hear. You don't forget what was said. My biggest knock was how I wasn't trustworthy in the playoffs, and he checked that off. And that's Swayman creating a motivational checklist based on things that were said during his arbitration hearing. Now, we have some problems with this, and I'm sure as you were, for those who were in yesterday's stream, no, we were discussing this for about an hour and going on the situations. Jeremy Swayman was the one that filed for arbitration. Now, saying that this was the case, and obviously they're going to use whatever they can against you in a negotiation for a contract to lower the price. Yes, Jeremy Swayman definitely proved himself in these playoffs, and that was the whole goal. You know, we weren't going to just have him sit out the playoffs and never trust him. The point of the playoffs were to get him into this role where he can do that, and having him make a checklist, that's a bit of an odd situation to find ourselves in that side of things. But having Swayman come out and say this, that the arbitrators are on their side, you know, the arbitrators are on nobody's side. It's the goal is to get to a final decision. They could care less if the player wins, if the team wins. It don't matter. It's an independent arbitrator. So the fact that Swayman is coming out and saying that, you know, I'll pull up on the bigger screen here once again, that their job is to help the management side and to rip the players, that's just false. You know, that maybe what he thinks, he said he studied up on it, but from this quote here, from this this documentary, we really don't know what was going through his head here now that he knows the business side of things. So we're going to move on to the next one, which a lot of people are still, even after this coming out, I'm still confident that we're going to see a contract in the next coming week or two. And this comes from Scott McLaughlin, Pierre LeBrun, both on the bottom one, saying that the Bruins and continuing to talk with Jeremy Swayman, his team and whatnot, trying get to a contract, which I'm still saying 8 by 8.5. That is a perfect contract for the two sides. And then Pierre LeBrun goes on, I think, to say, I think it gets done eventually, believe it or not, despite all the drama of this week. The Only Bruins podcast as well. I have a feeling Swayman lands a new contract within the next 2 weeks. A lot of people are still very, very confident, but having this quote come out from Jeremy Swayman himself, going on to discuss the whole arbitration process of last season, going on to this year, wanting to reset the goalie market. Now we have things coming out from Jeremy Swayman discussing kind of the whole point or the whole end goal of his contract. And this is also what we have from Jeremy Swayman, who states he wants to be a Bruin still. He says, I don't want it to end. This could be the last time I wear a Bruins jersey. I know I'm going to do everything in my power to be a Bruin for a long time. As a kid growing up in Alaska, this was my wildest dreams. I never want it to end. So this was also in this documentary series on Amazon Prime, discussing that, you know, he wants still to be here. He still wants to be in the Bruin system. And even when Cam Neely had asked him straight up, he said, do you want to still be a Bruin or do you want to be traded? He said, I still want to be a Bruin. And after all this, whether that has changed or not, we're still going to have to find out. We don't know yet because Swayman has yet to release any statement from himself and not through his agent. Even through his agent, Louis Gross. We probably still never know because he's kind of keeping everything to himself. But at the end of this, you know, we're still going through a lot of things, and things are definitely going to find an awkward spot at the beginning once a contract is finalized between the Bruins, between Swayman and not the players, but the staff side of things. So still, having all of this come out now is really just going to lead to many, many problems down the road. And we have another little sneak peek here of what we're going to be talking about now in a moment, and I will pull that back up in a moment. But when we see these things come out from Swayman, I will pull this up once again, just for you guys want to give it a pause, give it a read through again. I want the name of the documentary, whatever. I'm saying that we're going to have to go watch it now because I've yet to do so, but seeing all this is going to be a quite interesting watch. But the fact that Swayman was the one who filed for the arbitration last season, he was the one that went to this point. The Bruins didn't file. He was the one that filed, now saying that the arbitrators are ripping because they didn't go with his decision. It frankly is just quite childish. I don't want to say this because I love Jeremy Swayman, and I don't want to, hate on him. I don't want to speak badly or negatively on Jeremy Swayman or on the topic, but having this decision just because it's not going your way, I really don't like the way that sounds. So let me know what you think about these most recent quotes from Swayman in this documentary, because we're going to see a lot more coming up from this now, and I'm assuming, could be wrong, but I'm assuming we're going to see something from Swayman or Louis Gross over the next few days discussing this as well. But let's move on to our second topic here, which you've probably just seen from that image I pulled up, and people are losing their minds over a potential trade with Jeremy Swayman. I mentioned in yesterday's stream, we are not going to see a trade, and I'm quite confident in that. Someone asked me, 1 out of 10, what do I think the trades are? How likely is it going to be? I said 3. That still is my thoughts right now. I think it'll go up only if we reach the second half of November, but we are not going to get to that point. So having this come up, this screenshot right here. The Toronto Maple Leafs should trade for Jeremy Swayman. Says some weeks ago, the rumor went into overdrive, suggesting that Swayman could be on the move. But as I wrote at the time, the Leafs should have offer sheeted Swayman. Of course, that never happened. Now, considering the most recent developments, it looks like the Leafs could have a real shot at making a huge splash. I don't know what some of these writers are thinking. I don't know what the thought process behind this. And I know you got to write for your job, but still, nobody's going to agree with this. Obviously, I'm sure many Leafs fans wanted to, but realistically, that's never going to happen. First of all, the Leafs are not going to give up the picks to get Jeremy Swayman. First of all, they probably don't have them to offer sheet. They probably don't have those picks that they can give up. Second of all, the Bruins and Leafs will never make a trade for an elite player. They're not going to make they're not going to make a trade for Jeremy Swayman. The Bruins will never do that. So having this come out, as well as another article from this same website, if the Toronto Maple Leafs were smart, they'd offer sheet Jeremy Swayman. Once again, I don't know for sure, so I could be wrong, but I don't think the Leafs have the picks to be able to make this happen. This is just frankly ridiculous. And people going on to these crazy rumors, these crazy reports of discussing that they're going to be traded to the Maple Leafs. I seen Detroit may be one of them, but the Maple Leafs is an absolutely insane take. And here, this is the website. If you are curious where this was, you want to go read the article, see what they say, take a look. Now, don't say no hate to them, because obviously that's their job. They're trying to write on things, trying to get clicks, as just about everybody is. But still, some crazy stuff here. If you do want to go read it yourself, here's the website, editor in Leaf, and go have a look at it and see what they have to say if you want a good laugh to brighten up your day. But let me know what you think about the rumors about a trade or a report trade. What do you think the odds are for those who weren't in the stream last night? What do you think the odds are of a trade as well? Let me know what you think about what Jeremy Swayman had to say in the most recent documentary from Amazon Prime. A lot of wild stuff still coming out about this situation, and a lot of things that we still have to go over the next coming weeks. So you're going to make sure to hit the sub button, join the channel so you don't miss out on any Boston Bruins news, as well as wait for this Jeremy Swayman contract, because we're going to go bananas. We're going to have a party when that happens. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button like I mentioned. But I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.